Hello, everyone. Good evening. Um, Welcome to another episode of Olivia Susie Reads. Today, we're not going to be talking about books or movies reviews. We're going to be talking about friendship breakups, right? And I'm talking about friendship breakups today because I'm in a situation where I want to initiate a friendship breakup, but then it's bringing back memories of when I was broken up with by a friend. So I'm going to be talking about my perspective as someone who has initiated a friendship breakup and someone who has been a victim. Is that the proper word? Victim, or who has been on the other end, rather. Yeah, someone who has been an initiator and someone who has been a receiver. So let me first of all talk about someone who has been a receiver of a friendship breakup. I used to have this amazing friend. Referring to her in the past tense is very awkward for me, even because I will forever think of her as a friend. She's an amazing person. We've known each other since uni days. She's just someone who's very open. She attracts people to herself. Everybody wants to be her friend. She's that kind of person. She's just easy to like. There are people that you like from afar, but when you get close to them, you realize, oh my God, no, why? But she wasn't that kind of person at all. She was someone who, when you got close to her, you just loved her more. During COVID, then I was serving in Ogun State, and she was living in Lagos. She invited me to Lagos to come stay with her, and I did, and it was an amazing experience. She's someone who gives a lot. She has a very open hand and a very free spirit. She's very welcoming. I've lived with cousins, I've lived with sisters, I've lived with relatives, and I can say that living with this my friend, like spending the COVID, COVID, everyone was going crazy. But I spent lockdown with my friend, and I didn't go crazy. We did not hate each other. Our relationship grew stronger during COVID, so it was amazing. So I went back to my place of residence after COVID, and we're still keeping in touch by phone, WhatsApp. And one day I'm trying to reach my friend, it's not going through. I'm calling her on WhatsApp. First of all, I'm sending her messages on WhatsApp, they're not delivering. So I'm worried. I'm like, why are her messages not delivering? This is someone who's online 247. So I started calling her phone, calling her number. She's not picking. And so I'm really, really worried. So I reached out to, I go to social media and I see that she's posting on social media like she's fine. So I'm sending her several messages on social media, Facebook, Instagram. She's not picking. She's not responding to me. She's not responding. So I reach out to a mutual friend, one of our mutual friends, and I'm like, hey, I've been trying to reach out to this person. Her WhatsApp is not going through. What's happening? And she was like, oh, her WhatsApp is going through on my end. We're chatting. I'm like, oh Jesus, have I been blocked? Have I been blocked? So I'm like, okay, let her know that I'm reaching out to her. She should reach out to me. And later on, the other friend comes back and says, oh, she said she doesn't want to have anything to do with you. She doesn't want to reach out to you. She doesn't want to talk to you. I'm like, oh my God, can you ask her what happened? Like, what did I do? And this intermediary person, now this third person who's going back and forth for us, she comes back and she's like, oh, she said nothing, like she doesn't want to talk about it. I'm like, kidding me? Like, what happened? So what did I do? I got really angry, so I blocked her on Facebook, I blocked her on all social media, I blocked her on WhatsApp back. I blocked her everywhere. Like, I'm angry. I've been worrying about you, and you're fine, but you don't just want me in your life. And I've been asking you what's the problem. What did I do? You're not telling me anything, and you're posting on social media like it was driving me nuts. So I blocked her on Facebook, I blocked her on Instagram, I blocked her everywhere. I'm very quick to block people, by the way. So yeah, that's like my default response to things. I block people. So I block her everywhere, and later on, it's driving me mad, right? This is someone that I considered my friend for life, and you just cut me out of your life without explaining, without nothing. So I call her back again, like after 8 months, I think after 8 months or so, but it was a very long time. I was mourning, I was wounded. But then, one thing about me is I'm a very empathetic person. And if someone says, with you in my life, there is chaos, I receive that message. And because I love you so much, I would live your life so that you can have peace. If me living your life means that you can experience peace, then I will live your life. Which is what I did. I left her alone since she said she wanted to be alone. And then later on, I think on my birthday the next year, I reached out to her again. And luckily for me, she picked on my birthday. That was like my birthday wish. Oh, please, let her pick my call. Let me talk to my friend one time. Let me try to fix this. And I said, hey, thank you for picking my call. Can we now talk? Can you now tell me what happened? And then she told me that, someone had reached out to her to tell her to relay a kind of like gossip that I had, like basically she had confided in me about something, and I had told the person. Then in my head, I'm like, what? You confided in me, and I went out to say it? That's impossible. Like, I cannot remember doing that. And I said, okay, can you tell me what the thing is that you confided in me? If you tell me what it is, if I have ever discussed it outside, immediately I'm going to know. And I'm going to know who I discussed it with. Or even tell the person. So I can call the person and say, hey, I'm not afraid of confrontations. I'm not. So I'm going to call the person and I'm going to say, hey, what's up? What did I say to you about this person? Refresh my memory. And she said, oh, no, she's not going to discuss that. And she ended the call. And I was like, oh my God, like it kept eating at me. And I thought, oh God, I thought about everything. And the only thing I could remember was there was this major Ponzi scheme that happened in Nigeria. A Ponzi scheme that failed. It wasn't MMM. It was this other one. MMM have failed already. Was this other very hot one that was telling people to invest in trading. And I know that she invested her money in that and it failed. And I remember having a conversation with someone. I swear to God, to tell you how unimportant I felt that conversation was. I cannot even remember the person that I was having this conversation with. I was having a conversation with someone and I said, oh, we're talking about the effects that this had on the society. Like a lot of Nigerians have lost money. And I said, yes, me personally, I have a friend who also lost money in this thing. She even had to sell her car to she had to sell her car to be all right financially because of like, this is such a terrible thing. I hope the people who have organized this scam are brought to book. And the person also, told me about that they also lost money. Their siblings lost money. So it was, I did not know that could be referred to as talking about revealing things that have been said in confidence, because I didn't know that was said to me in confidence. Yeah, you told me you've lost money, but why can't I repeat it to someone else? Thinking about it now, as I've matured, because this happened in 2020, 2021. Yeah. Thinking about it now, I realize that people are different, and knowing the kind of person she was, my friend was an amazing person, but she also had so much pride. Repeating that to someone that she was going through a hard time financially because she had made a reckless financial decision was terrible. Thinking about it now, I acknowledge that was a terrible thing to do. But I was having a conversation with someone who had also been affected by this. And I was telling them, oh, I also know people who have been affected by this scam. So I did not know that it was going to be termed as gossip. And I swear to God that I cannot remember the person because it was that irrelevant. But I know that person was someone mutual who, maybe attended the same uni as us, or That was it. That is what I can remember, that I repeated her business outside. That's the only thing I can remember. But like I said, it has been years. It has been more than 4 years. It has been more than 4 years or so. So I can now step back out of the situation and say, okay, you should not have. It was not your place to say, to particularly point out that I had to say, this happened to my really close friend. You either said, my close friend, or said, I also know people. So I understand that and I acknowledge that. I was, how old was I? So yeah, people mature, we learn lessons, and I really, really take that into accountability that, yes, this is what you did. You should not have talked about her financial situation to another person. So yes, I acknowledge that. But in my head, I'm saying, if she had given me an opportunity to learn from that, she was more mature than I was. Yeah, she was older than me. Although we're in the same set in uni, but she was way older than I was. If she had told me, okay, now this is bad, repeating someone's financial situation to another person, I would have learned from that, and I would have known that, okay, for her, this was a boundary that you should never cross. No matter the situation she's in, do not repeat it to other people. I could have learned from that, but that was never communicated to me, and I wish that she had sat me down and talked to me as a younger friend. I really wish that she would have known that I would never, that the intention was not to be messy, or the intention was not to be like, oh yes, I have G's, like I'm spreading her misfortune. Never. I never had any ill intention when I was, relaying that information. So what have I learned from that situation? I've learned to, I wouldn't say I've learned not to talk about people, because I've never been the type to talk about people anyway. So that's not a lesson. I don't talk about people's business, because how many people do I even know? How many friends do I have that I'm going to be relaying the information to about you? So no, I don't talk about my friends. But the one thing that I have learned is that time heals wounds. Because when that happened to me, this was my really good friend that I loved. Oh my God, I loved her so much. I still love her. Last night I had a dream about her, and I dreamed that she had a baby and she was really doing well, which tells me that she's either pregnant, because my dreams, whenever I dream that someone has a baby, they're pregnant, or they already have a baby. So which tells me she's either pregnant or, but I know that she's good, and I'm happy that she's doing great wherever she is. What I've learned from this situation is, number one, time heals wounds. So if you're going through a friendship breakup, maybe you made a mistake, or they hurt you, or you hurt them, analyze the situation, step out of the situation, and look at it from the other person's angle, right? Which is what I did. And I realized now that how it could have seemed to her that I was spreading her misfortune. I've analyzed it and I've said, yes, this is where you messed up Olivia, and you should not have done that. Analyze the situation, step out of it, analyze it, and acknowledge where you were wrong. So I acknowledge that this is what I would do, and I've learned from it. Moving on, going on better in life, I'm going to be a better friend to whoever is my friend. I'm going to be a better friend to all my friends, because I've learned from this situation. So that's number one. Number two is, like I said, time heals everything. I thought that I could never heal from this breakup. It was worse than breaking up with a man, like breaking up with a boyfriend. It was worse. It hurt me deeply. But like I said, I think about her now and I don't feel hurt. I don't feel anxious. I don't itch to pick up my phone and look at her or say, oh, how's she doing? Has she posted us? No, I don't do that anymore. Like, no, I don't. So, closure. I've gotten closure. Even though she never really revealed what exactly happened, I'm just guessing. I've still gotten closure from that situation, and I have moved on. So yeah, that's it. Number one, the most important thing, analyze the situation from their perspective, take accountability where you're supposed to, learn the lessons from it, and you will have closure. Time will heal, and you'll get better, and you'll be a better friend. Because people will come into our lives and they'll go. People come, people go. We just keep moving. moving on as best as we can. Now, in the current situation where I'm in, where I want to initiate a friendship breakup, it's based on feelings, right? It's based on vibes. And this is also going to be hard for me, because having gone through a friendship breakup, I don't want to hurt her. So I don't want to leave her hanging. I don't want to, leave her without closure. I want to discuss with her. I want to tell her, hey, this is why I think we should no longer be friends. Even though it's a very hard conversation to have, it must be hard, because I don't want her to always guess, to keep guessing and saying, oh, why is this person not talking to me? Why has this person cut me off? Why has this person left me in the cold? No, I'm not going to do that to you. I'm not going to do that to her, because at one point in our lives, I really, really loved her. I love her. I still love her. But I've just noticed that there's just a lot of chaos in my life that I think can be directly or indirectly pointed to her. Now, I don't want to give out details here, because that's something that I have to talk about with her first of all. But directly or indirectly, she's just brought chaos into my life. There's been lots of negativity around being her friend, around her continuous presence in my life. And so I'm thinking, you know what? We have to call it quits. Now, I'm also going to give you another tip. When you have a friendship breakup with someone, please do not go about discussing them with other people, right? We have mutual friends. I and my ex-friend have mutual friends, which has also, cut off in my life. But I have never, ever sat them down to say, hey, to compare notes, to say, oh, she did this to me, she did that to me, did she do the same to you, blah, 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 blah. No. So when you break up with someone, when you have a friendship breakup with someone, move on. Hold on to the good memories. Always think about the good memories. Do not go on a smear campaign to say, oh, this person cut me off. Oh, that is just messy. That is messy. And which is something that I'm grateful for all my friends, present, past, in the future. I would never start a smear campaign against you. Never. So that's something that I've noticed a lot of people do when they break up with someone. When they have a friendship breakup, they begin to spill secrets. Oh, I know this about this person. She did this, she did that. Childish, irresponsible, crazy. Don't do it. So I hope that after listening to this podcast, you're able to process your friendship breakup, because sometimes friendship breakup, they hurt. They hurt way more than relationship breakups. So I hope that you process it and you analyze the situation, you learn from it, you get closure, and you don't go on a smear campaign. So let me know, have you ever experienced a friendship breakup? How did you navigate the situation? How did you get over it? If you haven't subscribed to my podcast yet, now is the time to subscribe. So please subscribe to my podcast, and I promise you that I have more topics, more really, really interesting topics to share with you all. More book reviews coming, more movie reviews coming. So please subscribe to my podcast. Thank you so much for staying and listening to me to the end. I really, really appreciate. Leave a comment if you've ever experienced friendship breakup. If you need help processing friendship breakups, you can also send me an email, olivia.sose@gmail.com. The Sose is spelled SOSE. So olivia.sose@gmail.com. Please send me a message, and don't forget to subscribe to any platform you're listening on. Please subscribe to my podcast. I really appreciate you all. Thank you, and have a lovely day wherever you are. Until next time, kisses.